Hi, good afternoon. My name is Wei Jie, and I'll be your presenter for today. So first of all, I would like to thank all of you for making yourself available for this. In fact, it's the second webinar that we have conducted for Lumion. So in today's webinar, we will be actually looking at how to actually render a night scene inside Lumion itself. Okay, so before that, let me just do a brief introduction of my company. Okay, a bit of information about ACAD Private Limited. So ACAD has been in the CAD/CAM industry since 2009, and then we are actually specialized in CAD softwares like AutoCAD, G-Star CAD, and then also rendering tool like Lumion, which is what we'll be discussing today. And then we also provide trainings for most of the software that we carry. And then over here, you can actually see some of the products that we carry. For example, for CAD software, we have Autodesk and AutoCAD. And then for 3D software, we have IntelliCAD, KD Max, and Autodesk software as well. And then the next one will be rendering tool. We have Lumion and V-Ray. And then for supporting software, we have Microsoft and Adobe, and then hardware, we have PCs and 3D printers. Okay, now go into the main topic today, which is Lumion. So Lumion is actually a top grade rendering tool that can actually help specifically for architects, right? They can help them to create images, videos together with animations, as well as 360 panoramic images inside Lumion. And then these are some of the software that is compatible with Lumion, which means that the files, the models that is being created in all these software listed here will be able to directly import it into Lumion, and then we can do the rendering of the model within it. Okay, so last but not least, let's move on to the live demo. And then inside the live demo, basically, I will actually run you through the workflow on how to actually create a night scene in Lumion. So some of the things that I'll be talking about will be how to import. In fact, the modeling tool that we'll be using in this webinar is Revit. So we'll be showing you how to import the Revit model into Lumion. And then inside Lumion, we'll be showing you how to actually place the lightings accurately. Okay, for those who are using Lumion already, you'll know that placing lighting in Lumion is not easy. It's pretty hard for us to actually snap into the location that we want. So in this webinar, we'll be showing you how to actually snap them using a method called node placement that allow us to actually place the lightings accurately into the position that we want. And then the second point that I'll be showing you is how to actually swap out the materials that we'll be using in Revit with the materials that we have in Lumion. And then last but not least, we'll be creating effects in Lumion so that we can get the result that we want once we render the night scene. Okay, so let's go to the demo. So first thing first, let's take a look at the model that we'll be using to render. So this is the model that we'll actually be using. And then this model is actually created in Revit, right? So in order to import this model into Lumion, first we have to install the plugin, okay? So once we have installed the plugin, on the ribbon, you will be able to see a ribbon under Lumion. And then here, there are lists of tools that we can use to so-called link the model directly into Lumion. And then to link the model over, there is this button called Live Sync. All right, so let me split the screen over here. So on the left side, I have my Revit software. And then on the right, you can see is my Lumion software. So in order to import it, I can just click on this button called Live Sync. And then it will take just a few seconds to load the model in. So you can see the model is already in here. Okay, so the next thing I will do is I need to move the model over here to the location that I want. Okay, so so I just need to select the house, and then once I did that, I just need to type in the coordinate that I want. Maybe I make it a bigger screen. So I'll just type in the coordinate over here to -5.6, 0.9, -30. Okay, so now my house is actually seated into the position that I actually want it to be. Okay, and then I'll just move it to the right side of the building over here, and then you will be able to see these three object. This tree object is actually for me to actually place the lightings within it. Okay, so let's say if I'm going to place a lighting over here, okay, let me zoom it closer to this region here. Okay, so let's go to the light object over here. Let's say I'm going to select Omni Light. And then you can see it's pretty hard for us to actually snap it into the location that we want. Let's say I want it to be directly in the middle. There's no way for us to snap it. Okay, so over here I will show you how to actually snap the light directly in the middle of this lighting device. So let me go back to my Revit software. Okay, so in Revit, you need to create three objects because here we have three lighting device here. So I need to create three objects to represent a node in Revit. Then once we created the node in Revit, we can export out the node and import it into Lumion. And then we can swap out the node and replace it with the light object in Lumion. Okay, so first thing I have to go to my family, look family, and then over here I will need to look for lightings, and then probably okay, this emergency wall light, open it. Okay, once I loaded that object in, I need to go to my east elevation under the project browser, under elevation, double click on east. Okay, and then over here you can see the shape of the three light devices over here. Okay, so I can now place in the emergency light. Just click on place a component, and then over here you can see my cursor is actually snapped into the middle of the light object, and then I just need to snap it into the middle of that rectangle. Okay, and then I'll place one over here as well, and then one more over here. Okay, after I'm done, I'll just escape. Okay, now I will need to save these three devices as a group. So I need to select the three devices over here. And then over here, I can select create group. Okay, and then for this group name, I'll just type in light nodes. Okay, so once I've created the library group called light nodes, I can now save the group out by going to save as, library, and then group. Okay, so I'll just save the group onto my desktop, and then make sure you select the group to save is light nodes. And then I'll give a name to it, will be light nodes as well. Okay, so once I've saved the file, I need to open up the file from the desktop, light nodes. Then over here, you can see the file actually just contain these three objects over here that is representing the light nodes. Okay, so once it's already saved out the nodes that we want, we can now export out this file into a format that we can import it into Lumion. So Lumion can accept this format called FBX, right? So I'll just export out this format here. And then for the file name, I'll just type in light nodes as well. Okay, so once I've saved out the light nodes already, I can now minimize my Revit. Okay, let me. Okay, so you can see now on my model inside Lumion, right? I don't have the light nodes placed within the model. So what I will need to do now is I need to importing the FBX file called light nodes. Okay, so in order to do that, I will need to go to the import button here and then look for light nodes and then OK. Okay, I'll just put the light nodes anywhere that I want. Okay, later I will align the light nodes again. So once I've placed the light nodes in, right, you can see this is actually my light nodes, the origin point of my light node. And then on the left side, this is my origin point of my house. So now I need to align these two origin point together at the same point. So how to do that? First we need to select the origin of the house, followed by the origin of the light nodes. And then on the top right corner, you have an option called Align Position. Okay, so just click on that. And then now I've aligned the two objects together. So now I can actually go in to the right side. And then you can see the light nodes and the house is already aligned together. Okay, so now the next thing, I need to swap out the light nodes, which is represented by this object here, with the light object in Lumion. So before that, let me save the file. Okay, and then now in order to swap out the position, first I need to select the light nodes. So you can see over here, light nodes are selected. And then on the top right corner, there is an option called Place Object on Nodes. Okay, so I click on this, and then the system will detect 4 nodes are created in the FBX file, right? So the 4 nodes will be the 3 object that we have placed in together with the origin point. So the origin is also considered one node, right? So after that, I will go to my light object library, and then I will look for Omni Light. Just double click on it, and then you can see the Omni Light is actually snapped into the middle of the lighting devices. And then after that, I'll just click OK. Then now you can see my light. You can see it's already snapped into the center of the light devices, right? So this is called the node placement mode that we can use to actually place the lightings accurately into the position that we want. Okay, so next thing, let's change the weather to nighttime. And then now you can see the light actually shine onto the building. Okay, first thing, we can actually adjust the lightings. So we can select the 3 light objects here. And then over here, we will adjust the brightness of it. Okay, maybe somewhere here. And then now, next thing, we need to go into the house, and then we need to place in some light within it also. So I will show you a quick way of dropping light within the unit itself. So first thing, I will change the weather back to daytime. Okay, I'll be using the Omni Light as well. And then the first Omni Light, I will put it somewhere here. And then the second one, I will put it maybe somewhere here. And then the third one, maybe at this corner. Then the fourth one. The fifth one. 6. So I've put a total of 6 light within the house. And then now I need to select all the light Okay, so once I've selected all the light, I will pull the light down, right? So I'll select the move up button and then just drag the light downwards to somewhere in the middle of the building, the house, okay? And then after that, I can adjust the brightness as well. And then in order to see the brightness, I will change the weather to nighttime. And then you can see the brightness within the house itself. It seems like it's not bright enough, right? So I will just adjust the lightings again. Okay, and then maybe I tune out the brightness. Okay, so now it seems okay already. Okay, so now I'll just go out of the house and then I'll make it daytime again. Okay, so pretty much I've already put in the light that I need. The next thing I'll show you how to actually swap out the materials that we have in Revit with the materials that we are using in Lumion. Okay, so first thing we have to go to the materials category here. And then once we go into the material editor, we can select one of the surface of the house. And then over here, for this surface, probably I'll look at outdoor materials. And then I'll go to concrete. So probably I'll be using this. So I'll just double click on this. And then over here, I can control the colorization of it, the glossiness. In fact, I don't want any glossiness on this surface. Reflectivity as well. And then the relief will actually increase the bump effect on the surface. Okay, so it depends on how bumpy you want it onto that surface. And then you can also control the scaling effect on the patterns on that surface as well. Okay, so once you are okay with the appearance, you can click on the Save Changes button. And then now I will click on this surface. I'll go to concrete again. Maybe I'll choose this. Okay, I'll take away the glossiness and the reflectivity and then save the changes. And then next thing I'll be changing will be the window grille. So I'll be selecting outdoor materials, metal, aluminum. Okay, maybe this one, metal. Okay, I will adjust the glossiness and the reflectivity as well. And then last but not least, the glass. I will change it to interior glass 001 and then okay. Okay, now after I'm done, I'll go out and have a look at the finished product. So this is how it will look like. Okay, the last but not least, I will also show you how to edit the material of the grass, right? So I'll just select the grass patch here, and then I will go to various category. And then over here, we have some pretty nice 3D grass that we can use. So we can use this circular grass 03. Okay, so now it looks pretty good. So I'll select this patch as well, and then change it to 3D grass as well. Okay, so after I'm done, I will go to my layers over here. So you can see at the top, I have a few layers that I've turned off. So now I'll turn on some of the layers, and then you can see all the houses and the background trees that have been placed beforehand. You can see all will be brought into your scene, right? So make sure I have my birds and my furniture. Okay, so the next thing over here I will show you is you can see I have this object over here on the wall. So I'll show you another type of lightings. So I'll go to my light objects, and then I'll go to spotlight, and then over here I'll select lamp 10. Okay, so I'll place it somewhere in the middle over here. Okay, and then another one here. and then another one here. Okay, so once I'm done, I will change my weather to nighttime. Okay, and then I will select the first spotlight here. Okay, and then I can adjust the cone angle to be a bit smaller. Okay, and then I can also target the light to the area that I want. Okay, so I can adjust it. Okay, somewhere here. Okay, and then I'll go to the next spotlight, select it, and then I'll change the cone angle as well. And then I'll adjust the light to be targeting somewhere further down. Okay, and then next will be this one. So I'll change the cone angle and then target the light. Okay. Okay, now after I'm done, I will change the weather back to daytime. Okay, so now everything is pretty much ready to go. So last but not least, after changing the materials, placing all the lightings that we need, we can now start to do the rendering of my night scene. So I will just go to the photo mode. Okay, and then over here, I'll just go into one of the empty slot for my photos. And then I need to find a spot whereby I'll be taking a picture of it so that I can do the rendering. Right, so let me go to the position that I want. Okay, so I can actually adjust the height, and then over here I can actually control the focal length as well. So I would like the focal length to be around 24. Okay, so somewhere like this. Okay, so once I find the angle that I want, I can now take a snapshot of it. Okay, so I'm ready to go to add the effects that I want for this picture. So I can go to the add effect button. And then the first effect, I will go to my sky category and then look for real sky. So over here, we have some pretty realistic sky effects that we can use. Since we are doing a night rendering, I'll go to the night category. And then over here, I'll be choosing night 3. Okay, and then I'll leave the rest of the settings to the default, and then I'll go back, and then I'll add another effect in. Okay, the next effect I'll be putting in will be exposure. Okay, so I adjust the exposure a bit higher, maybe around 0.7. Okay, and then I'll go to add effect again. Okay, next one I will look at 2-point perspective. Just make sure this button is on, and then you can go back to the main page and then add effect again. And then the next one that I'll be looking at will be lens flare. Okay, so take note on the headlight of the car. So in fact, I want to make it a bit brighter. I can control it using the master brightness. And then we can also play with the bloom amount. Okay, so maybe somewhere like this will be okay. Okay, next we can click on the add effect again, and this time round I will choose color correction. Okay, probably I'll change the temperature of the color, maybe to 0.2. Okay, the rest I'll just leave it to default, and then I'll add the effect again. Then I'll go to sharpen. I will sharpen the image a bit, maybe around 1.3. Okay, last but not least, we'll go to the advanced category, and then I'll put in shadows. And then for shadow, I would like to always on the last two buttons, the soft shadow and the fine detail shadow. Just turn on these two. All right, and then go to add effects again. And then the next one will be reflection. Okay, and then I always turn on this speedway reflection. Okay, so you can take note on the road, right? It's the surface of the road. So once I turn on, you can see the reflections on the road, right? And then we can actually click on the edit button to add in the reflection plane. So the first plane, I will place it onto the surface of the road. Then the second plane, I'll put it onto the windows. Okay, so I've put in all the planes that I need. So I'll just click OK. And then I'll go back to my main page, and then I will add in two more effects. Okay, so the next effect, I'll put in the skylight. Then over here, I will change the render quality to probably high for the skylight. And then I will add the effects again. And then the last one will be hyperlight. And then I will change the amount of hyperlight to probably about 50%. Okay, once I'm done, I can now do the rendering of this image. So over here, I can click on render photo. And then I'll choose the desktop option. Okay, I'll save it under A. And then the rendering speed is pretty fast. Okay, probably just a few seconds, and then you can get the outputs rate. It takes a bit longer than expected, I think, because I add in some effects, more effects that I need. So it actually takes more time to actually get the result that I want. All right, so this is the final result. So I can actually go to my Explorer, and then I will open up this image. Okay, so you can see this is actually the rendered image of the night scene. So it's pretty good. Okay, so the next one I'll be actually showing you is I will actually go to the next photo slot here, and then probably I'll take a snapshot of the house at another angle, probably this angle here. Okay, I'll take a snapshot. Okay, now in order to render it, right, because for this photo, we don't have any effects in it. So I can actually go to the previous one that I've added a bunch of effects. I can now save all the effects over here. Okay, go to edit, sorry. Go to edit, and then copy the effects. And then I'll go to the photo that I've just taken, and then I will save the effects over. Okay, and then there's one good thing about it. So let's say now I've added a bunch of effects over here. I want to have a preview of how it will look like before I actually render out the final final copy of it. So I can click in the preview window, and then you can see it's actually running at the back end, and then they will actually give you a preview of what will be expected, a rough guide of how the render result will look like. So this is a rough guide of it, right? So it's actually pretty handy, so that it can actually save you more time. In fact, if you can reduce the number of time that you actually render image, so that you can get the result that you want. All right. So after that, I'll click on the render button again. Go to the desktop option, and then click on B. Okay, so this is actually the second photo that we have taken. Okay, so it's done. So I can just click on the open folder button, and then I can open the image here. Okay, so this is the first photo, and then this is actually the second photo. Okay, so I think that's all for my demonstration.